Hello, welcome to today's session and today's class. We are going to continue with our class through a recorded video presentation. And today we are going to be talking about the CCTV surveillance systems. We are going to be talking about CCTV cameras. We shall specifically talk about camera types, uses, and specifications. That is our lesson for today. Camera types, uses, and specifications. You see a lot of cameras all over the place in particular facilities, in businesses, at homes, but you as a CCTV surveillance officer, you need to know which type of camera it is just by looking at it, and what is the use of this camera just by looking at it, and what are the specifications of this camera just by looking at it. With this knowledge, you will be able to operate easily, and you will be able to conduct or to carry out your CCTV surveillance duties effectively when you know which camera is this and how do we use it and how can we maximize its use, how can we get best coverage from this camera, how can we get best recorded videos from this camera. So we shall be talking about camera types, we shall be talking about uses, and we shall be talking about specifications. Once again, my name is Wayne. I hope everybody is familiar with me now. This one is a lengthy topic, so I'm going to try and move very fast because I again know it is information that is in your domain. To even to the basic level, you know this is a static camera, this is a Doom camera, this is a PTZ camera. However, let's go over it. As we start, we will say cameras are an essential component of any CCTV system. Without cameras, CCTV systems, I don't know what we would refer to these systems that do not have cameras, but cameras are an essential component of any CCTV system. Matching the right CCTV camera to a particular application is increasingly complex due to rapid technological developments and a greater range of applications. A system's performance is affected by many factors beyond those listed in the vendor datasheets. Effective camera selection requires detailed knowledge of the camera, application, supporting architecture, and host environment. There may come a time you as a CCTV surveillance officer, you are included in the panel to upgrade your CCTV surveillance system, or you are employed in a new organization. Now that they are installing the CCTV surveillance system, your input is required. And if you know what type of cameras exist and how to select cameras and the knowledge of camera operations, applications, supporting environment, then you will be in a better position to speak up during these forums. Elements of CCTV cameras. All CCTV cameras include three basic elements. Image sensor converts light into electronic signals. Please note this down. All CCTV cameras include three basic elements. So if you are asked what are the elements of CCTV cameras, what are the elements of CCTV cameras? You say image sensor, and the job of an image sensor is to convert light into electronic signals. And then cameras have lens, gathers light reflected from a subject and focuses the light on the image sensor. And then image processing circuitry, image processing circuitry. So those are the elements of cameras. Three elements: image, lens, and image processing circuitry. Organizes, optimizes, and transmits video signals. Image processing circuitry organizes, optimizes, and transmits video signals. Now, the type of camera best suited for a CCTV system depends on the operational requirement and how it will integrate into the system. The answers to the following questions may help determine the best camera type. What is the desired image quality? In the introduction and evolution, we said image quality refers to resolution. Then what is the desired field of view? How much lighting is available? Will the camera be installed indoors or outdoors? Will the video be monitored on a full-time basis? How will the video be transmitted? Will the camera be expected to be exposed to extreme conditions? Extreme conditions, we talk about environmental conditions, which is a lot of heat, a lot of salty environments like Mombasa, a lot of rainy environments. Will the camera be exposed to extreme conditions? Such kind of requirements, such kind of questions will determine which type of camera you may use. And then categories. There are many types of cameras designed to perform under specific environmental conditions, but cameras can be grouped into two primary categories. One, fixed cameras, and two, pan, tilt, zoom cameras. So categories of cameras. We have fixed cameras, and then we have pan, tilt cameras categories. Please keep this in mind. We have fixed cameras, and then we have pan, tilt, zoom cameras. Fixed cameras are intended to constantly view a single scene. PTZ cameras are motor driven and can pan left or right, tilt up or down, and zoom in or out to instantly customize the view as needed. A combination of fixed and the PTZ cameras are often used to provide the required surveillance coverage. So in most facilities, you will find a combination of both fixed and pan, tilt, zoom cameras. PTZ cameras. Let's start with the PTZ cameras. PTZ cameras come in a variety of sizes and shapes for interior and exterior uses. Typically, a PTZ camera can be turned and tilted onto axis to provide pan and tilt capabilities, and the focal lengths of the lens can be varied to change the field of view. This enables PTZ cameras to offer more flexibility for viewing and capturing images in real time than fixed cameras. PTZ cameras can be operated manually or in automatic scan mode, thus capturing the most relevant video possible. PTZ cameras come in a variety of sizes for interior and exterior. So don't conclude that PTZ cameras are only for exterior. There are also PTZ cameras for interior, as we can see. In manual mode, the operator can control the direction of the camera depending on situational needs and zoom in on an object, e.g., a suspicious bag, a person's facial features, or a license plate, or capture specific details of interest. PTZ cameras can also be configured to automatically scan back and forth over a wide area that cannot be covered by a single fixed camera. Preset positions can be programmed to switch views based upon specified segments. For example, a PTZ camera could be programmed to change its view every 10 seconds to capture different areas of interest within the camera's overall surveillance area. You go into a control room, you see the PTZ camera is moving to capture different scenes of a specific interest area as it moves 1 minute of 0.5 seconds, 0.5 seconds, 0.5 seconds, like that. So that is some part of operations of PTZ cameras. They can be programmed to move automatically, or they can be operated by a joystick by the CCTV control. In manual mode, the operator can control the direction of the camera depending on situational needs and zoom in on objects. I think we have already gone through this, and we said, for an example, a PTZ camera could be programmed to change its view every 10 seconds to capture different areas of interest within the camera's overall surveillance area. You have seen them on larger poles. The PTZ camera is stationed there. The operator can tilt it up and down. He can zoom in. He can also pan it from side to side and to capture different areas of a particular facility. Pan tilt PTZ camera. PTZ camera can be panned, tilted, and zoomed. Please take note of this one. It gives the surveillance operator the freedom to pan, tilt, and zoom the lens. These cameras can be controlled manually or programmed to follow an accurate view of things. We have spoken about that. Since these cameras can be monitored using the live controls, they are employed in highly sensitive zones where live monitoring is required. Critical national infrastructure facilities. This is where you'll highly find this type of cameras. And as a security professional, you have to know what is a critical national critical infrastructure facility. For example, the defense headquarters, for example, the international airports, even domestic airports, they are very critical to the operation of the republic. And also even a power generation units or installations or locations. These are what we call critical national facilities. Like for example, in Kenya, Kenyatta National Hospital can be considered as a critical facility that serves the interests of the whole country. So you'll find PTZ cameras at this type of locations. The majority of cameras at shopping malls and in public surveillance are PTZs. In general, PTZs are the standard choice for monitoring large public areas and have a significant role in anti-terrorism surveillance of public areas. Take note, they are the standard choice for monitoring large public areas, stadiums, churches, large complex of a church. Then you will definitely find PTZ cameras installed at these locations. PTZ versus fixed. Before we go to fixed, let's look at PTZ versus fixed. There is an assumption that a PTZ is better choice than fixed, but the decision is more complicated and the PTZ cameras are significantly more expensive than fixed cameras. The optical zoom means choosing optical zoom is important when you need to see things that are far away. In practice, optical zoom ranges are from about 3x to 36x magnification. Range. Pan range measures the freedom the PTZ has to move horizontally. The maximum range is 360 degrees, meaning that PTZ can move horizontally continuously to look in any direction. And then tilt range measures movement vertically, looking up and down. So zoom, pan is looking horizontally, 360, but tilt is looking up and down, which is 180 degrees. It can only go 180 degrees up and down. If you divide a circle by 2, then it is 180 degrees, 180 degrees. But zoom, it can go horizontally round like this, 360 degrees. And then optical zoom, you know this one, zooming in, zooming out as you use even your mobile cameras or your mobile phones. 180 degrees, the magic number for tilt range up and down is 180 degrees. This means the camera can look all the way from one side to the other side. Look to the right, look all the way down, look to the left. This is important, just like 360 panning, to make sure you can track a suspect across a facility. However, only 30% of PTZ cameras can do 100 degrees or more. Consider also that one. You see, when we talk about tracking a suspect across a facility, from the main gate into the reception, into the interior of the facility, you can use a PTZ camera to track this suspect. Therefore, tilt is 180 degrees, pan is 360 degrees, and then zoom is 3x times 36x magnification. We look further at PTZ cameras, and this is what we mean when we say pan. The camera can go around and record events within a particular area horizontally. When we talk about tilt, camera can go up and down 180 degrees, and then we have magnification, which is zoom in and out. PTZ cameras look like this one. PTZ cameras look like this one. They are very nice cameras, and there is advancement in technology where we have cameras that are set automatically on tours and those that can be operated by a CCTV operator. Who is you? And now This is a type of keyboard that is used in the control room to operate a CCTV cameras when they are set to be operated manually by a CCTV surveillance officer. But when they are set to operate automatically, then this keyboard is not in use. We have a joystick here. This is what we call a joystick, and we have other areas of operation of the keyboard. Apart from that, we have fixed cameras. So we have PTZ cameras and we have fixed cameras. Fixed cameras are mounted in a stationary position and are focused on a single field of view, one particular area of interest. These cameras can be used indoors or outdoors and can be installed overtly or covertly. Overtly means in the open, covertly means hidden. Hidden or in a covert manner means that they are not open to view. Fixed cameras vary in size and can be mounted in a wide range of locations, e.g. inside cabinets or control panels, or on poles, fence lines, or roofs. PTZ cameras, you see them in town, in business areas, in homes, at your facility of work. You'll see a lot of PTZ cameras at receptions, at the main entrance. You'll find these kind of cameras. Remember, we said PTZ cameras are used to monitor large public areas like parking lots, shopping malls, large areas, large facilities, stadiums, etc. Fixed cameras can be integrated with an electronic security system and used to access electronic security system alarms. For example, a fixed camera can surveil a secured gate but only record data when the gate opens, triggering an alarm. That is an aspect of integration, as we mentioned in the introduction and evolution of CCTV technology. Fixed cameras are usually less expensive than PTZ cameras and require less maintenance as they have fewer moving parts. So they are less expensive and require a minimum maintenance. Types of fixed cameras. We have many types of fixed cameras. Number one, we have cube. This is the least expensive cameras and often deployed in residential or small businesses applications. Very limited functionality and specific features. Mostly the cameras you see in businesses, in shop where they sell mobile phones, clothes, other categories of items are cube cameras. And then we have box. Box cameras provide flexibility and simplicity at a relatively low price. And then we have bullet, best thought of as specialist form of box camera. Bullets usually add a few benefits, and common in box cameras, such as IR LED illuminators, day and night support for outdoor use, etc. The lens is usually integrated in the bullet camera. In majority of the locations now, you'll find bullet cameras. Cube cameras, box cameras are not. These are some of the most traditional analog type cameras. But bullet cameras in most locations now, in hotels in Nairobi, you go to Serena, you go to Tribe Hotel, you will find bullet type of cameras. Bullet cameras have a long and tapered cylindrical-like design that resembles an oversized ammo cartridge. They are mostly used outdoors, especially in areas where long viewing is necessary. However, they can be used indoors where the long viewing is required, like backyards and parking lots. They are installed inside protective casings and are typically weatherproof. Remember, we have said they are mostly used outdoors. However, they can be used indoors. So if they are mostly used outdoors, then they are usually installed inside protective casings and are typically weatherproof. Rain, heat, sunshine, etc. Most bullet cameras come with a fixed length that allows the angle of view up to 80 degrees. The camera is usually fitted with a fixed or varifocal lens. These ones are usually installed where long distance surveillance up to 40 feet is required, and outdoors where waterproof surveillance systems are fixed. Bullet cameras look like this. This is what we call the casing here, to protect the camera, the lens to protect the camera from adverse weather conditions, which we talk about: sunlight, dust, rain, water, etc. You see, they are installed inside a casing. So these are the most popular cameras you'll see at facilities like Safaricom, like Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, like the Department of Defense, like KenGen. You will see these cameras. Even at your workplace, you will see these cameras. These are called infrared illuminators. You see the red colors, the red things, these are called illuminators. This enables the camera to see even in pitch darkness. So these are what we call bullet cameras. Dome cameras. Dome cameras are named after their shape, are typically used for indoor security systems, mostly indoor security systems. The dome shape of these cameras allows them to be inconspicuous because it is hard to tell the direction the cameras are facing. However, being still visible to the eyes. You can see the camera, but you cannot know which direction it is facing. They are widely used in retail spaces. Since they are installed on the ceiling of the room, they are mostly vandal-proof. Some dome cameras are designed with infrared illuminators, which enable them to capture videos in low light conditions. Dome cameras, you'll see them mostly at receptions. Think of a reception where you go to a building and you go into a reception. Note that you'll see a dome camera inside these areas. The advantage is that they are inconspicuous, but because you cannot know which direction the camera is facing. Advantages: dome cameras are vandal resistance. Out domes don't require separate housing. Possibility of integrating IR infrared. A disadvantage is that less than 33% of dome cameras support interchangeable lenses, and those that do have size limitations. So those are some of the limitations, but these are some types of dome cameras. Please get familiar with these cameras. Get familiar with the cameras. When you go back to your workplace tomorrow or on Monday, check the cameras. Make a conclusion. Is this dome or is this static? Is this PTZ or is this cube or is this box? You should be able, from the photos I've shown you, to identify a bullet camera, to identify a dome camera, to identify a box camera. And when you look at the bullets, you'll find them outside. And remember, they have a casing. And when you look at a dome, you'll note that an advantage is that you cannot know the direction the camera is facing. There are other cameras called day and night CCTV cameras. However, these ones are being phased out because now in this age we have infrared cameras which can see in pitch dark, and they can be used during day and night also. This type of CCTV cameras can be used in both poorly lit and standard environments, mostly used outdoors. These surveillance units have a wide dynamic range and can function under direct sunlight, glare, or reflections. Day and night cameras offer flexibility by automatically adjusting to current lighting conditions. These cameras capture dull color images in daylight and switch to black and white to improve image quality at night. The camera relies on analysis of the current image or a photoelectric sensor to determine when to automatically remove the infrared, cut filter, and switch to monochrome settings. Where 24/7 surveillance is needed, often in low light conditions, these cameras are used. They can be dome or bullet. And then we have high definition CCTV surveillance cameras. High definition CCTV surveillance. High definition cameras can record at high frame rates and at high definition quality, which is comparatively at a higher resolution than other CCTV cameras. This type of camera can capture finer details while giving the operator the option to zoom in without losing picture quality. They are installed in high niche places like casinos and banks. Casino managers often check if a player is counting cards or not through this type of camera. So high definition CCTV cameras, they capture at a very high resolution. The video is of high resolution. Remember, we say the resolution is the clarity of the captured image or the captured video. As a CCTV surveillance professional officer, those finer details should be at your fingerprints. Remember, I have been in a position of security management, and I've interviewed quite a number of CCTV surveillance officers, and this little information is what is lacking with the majority of CCTV controllers. They cannot tell between a bullet and a doom camera. They cannot tell if this camera is in infrared or not infrared. They cannot tell if this camera is PTZ or what kind of PTZ. They cannot tell how is a PTZ camera operated, either manually or set automatically. Gentlemen, these finer details are very important to a CCTV surveillance officer. And then we have low light or night vision cameras. Cameras used to capture images in dark environments are either low light or night vision cameras. Low light cameras are designed to perform in some level of ambient lighting, such as indoor restaurant lighting, street lamps, or full moon. They are not intended for use in complete darkness. Night vision cameras used in the CCTV surveillance systems consist of near-infrared, NIR, and infrared cameras with built-in infrared illuminators. I've shown you illuminators from the picture that we saw some few minutes ago. You know where I am. It is now day, it is now midday, and it is a very hot day, and the environment is changing, and this also affects, as we saw, environmental conditions also affect the quality of the images that cameras capture. These cameras are designed to allow the operator to view night scenes. The distance from which a CCTV camera can detect objects at night depends on the capability of the camera components, such as the lens and sensor, as well as on the intensity of the infrared illuminator used. The infrared light emanated from these illuminators can be at wavelengths that are invisible to the human eye. Those are finer details that you need also to do more research to understand that statement. The infrared light emanated from these illuminators can be at wavelengths that are invisible to the human eye. Thermal imaging cameras. Some operational environments may require a thermal imaging camera to detect through obstructions such as fog or smoke. Thermal imaging cameras detect infrared or heat radiation that is invisible to the human eye. Currently, these cameras are sensitive to temperature differences of 1/10 of a degree Fahrenheit. Thermal imagers cannot detect through glass or water, but can provide an image through limited density fog or smoke. Many thermal imaging cameras have built-in image processing to create images with improved contrast. So thermal imaging cameras, we say thermal imaging cameras are used to operate in environments that require a thermal camera to detect through obstructions such as fog or smoke. So in areas like Limuru, where we usually have a lot of smoke, or Kijabe, then you expect us to install in most locations thermal imaging cameras to see through obstructions such as the fog that usually exists in this area. Thermal cameras are often mounted in gyro-stabilized pan-tilt devices, as well as on boats and helicopters for night surveillance in poorly lit areas. They are also available as small handheld units with built-in displays, which can be used in safety, security, and emergency responder applications. The image sensors in thermal cameras can degrade, so it is important to consult with the camera manufacturer to determine performance characteristics over time and to budget for the cost of periodic maintenance and replacement. Miniature or covert cameras. Special applications may exist that require the installation of small hidden cameras as part of a CCTV surveillance system. These cameras are not usually weather resistant, so they may require an external housing if they are to be used outdoors. These cameras are typically battery operated and may use bullet-in transmitters to provide compact wireless solution. Organizations can choose from many types of miniature and covert cameras depending on their requirements. While I worked at Vela Private Island, Republic of Maldives, as a director of security, I had in the jewelry location, we had a jewelry shop where we have had very expensive jewelry, diamonds, gold, brass, silver, costing millions and millions of US dollars. We had hidden cameras inside this jewelry shop. In that, if you went to the shop, you will not see any camera. But if you go to the control room, you see how these cameras are monitoring images, are monitoring people entering the jewelry shop, and how the resolution is very high. They were very, very nice cameras. We have optical camera features. CCTV cameras can include a variety of optical features to meet specific needs of the operational environment. Some of these common features are described below. Auto scan. Some PTZ cameras can be programmed to perform automated functions. Autoscan is the term used to describe a constant cycle of sweeping through the surveillance area. Autoscan is the term used to describe a constant cycle of sweeping through the surveillance area. We have seen several types of cameras. We have seen bullet. We have seen, first of all, we have seen two categories. We have seen fixed and we have seen pan, tilt, zoom cameras. And then we have seen details of fixed cameras. We have seen bullet, zoom, and thermal cameras and everything. Now we are looking at optical features. CCTV cameras can include a variety of optical features to meet the specific needs of the operational environment. Some of these common features are described below. One is autoscan. Some PTZ cameras can be programmed to perform automated functions. Autoscan is the term used to describe a constant cycle of sweeping through the surveillance area. Preset. So another feature is a preset. A preset is a programmed orientation and lens setting, which a PTZ camera moves to either periodically or when a certain type of event occurs. Preset. Programmed orientation. For example, during an intrusion alarm, a camera can be preset to display the high-value assets in the surveillance area or to focus on the access point where the alarm was triggered. Another feature is privacy masking. A camera with privacy masking capability can selectively block portions of the video image for the purpose of protecting privacy. For example, PTZ cameras may be used to monitor a parking lot adjacent to an apartment building with the images of the windows in the building masked. This is a feature of the system configuration, software or hardware, and can be complex and costly. It can be very complex and costly. Then also we have sling ring. A sling ring, a slip ring is an electrical connection that allows a PTZ camera to turn without twisting the signal control cable. Slip rings can use light beams to optically transmit the image or use a sliding brush contact on a base ring to create an electrical path. Slip rings tend to be sensitive to contamination and temperature changes. Please take your time, do more research on these features. Do more research on these features to better understand how PTZ cameras utilize these particular features. And then we have motion detection. Motion detection. Cameras can be equipped with built-in motion detection features, which can be programmed to trigger an alarm if motion occurs within the field of view. The alarm can be programmed to trigger recording, alert an operator, or both. Motion detection features can also result in nuisance alarms if the environment has natural movement. Backlight compensation. Some cameras have built-in backlight compensation settings. Backlight compensation can compensate for the high contrast of images with a bright background and enhance the image detail accordingly. For example, backlight compensation allows security personnel to see details of a person moving in front of a brightly lit window. Backlight compensation. Also, we have digital noise reduction. This feature is common for cameras intended to capture images in low light or dark environments. Digital Noise reduction removes the noise, grainy appearance displayed as spots known as raster from the video image. This makes the image clear, brighter, and easier to interpret. Less digital noise can also reduce storage space requirements since there is less extraneous information in the video. Mobile compatibility. This application enables remote viewing of video on mobile devices such as smartphones, tablets, and laptops. Take note of this. Mobile compatibility enables remote viewing of video on mobile devices such as smartphones, tablets, and laptops. Some remote viewing methods require special camera software or hardware, while other methods and applications can be configured to connect directly with a camera and do not require personal computer. Then we have types of images. Types of image sensors. Sensors are part of the camera. Remember, we said the camera has got how many elements? 3. Image sensor, lens, and image processing circuitry. So the types of image sensors. CCTV cameras commonly use charge-coupled device or complementary metal oxide semiconductor image sensor technology. The smallest part of an image produced on a solid state chip is the picture element or pixel. Regardless of the sensor type, pixels are engineered in number, size, and filtration to provide different resolutions, light sensitivity, and spectral responses. I can say that you need to read more about these image sensors. You need to read more about image sensors also in your own also, and gain more detailed knowledge about what we are talking about. And then we have charge-coupled device sensors. Cameras that use charge-coupled device image sensors entered the CCTV industry in the mid-1980s and now dominate the market for daylight and low light or near-infrared cameras. CCD technology has many advantages over the tubes used in earliest video cameras. CCD image sensors are smaller, generate less heat, and their captured images are less susceptible to blooming. Blooming occurs when the image sensor is overwhelmed by high insensitivity light source in the field of view and eliminates details in other parts of the image. The life expectancy of a charge-coupled device sensor camera ranges from 5 to 25 years. CCDs consist of a 3-dimensional array of pixels, each of which generates an electrical signal proportional to the quality of light it receives. Then also, this analog electrical signal is transferred to another chip where it is converted to digital information. This digital information is processed within the camera and then transmitted to other components of the CCTV system. Some cameras convert the processed signal to analog video prior to transmission. The surface of the type of CCD used in CCTV cameras resembles an aerial view of a very orderly city. Each of the rooftops represents a light-sensitive element, while the streets represent the electronic timing and control circuits. The proportion of the rooftops sensor elements to the streets circuits determines the sensitivity to light and the resolution of CCD. Read about the image sensors. And then a greater area devoted to sensor elements results in camera with high sensitivity and finer resolution. Smaller proportions result in lower sensitivity and coarser resolution. In addition, some manufacturers offer CCDs with a lens capability for sensor elements to gather more light and increase sensitivity. We also have CMO sensors. Applications requiring high-quality images tend to rely on CCD sensors, but CMOS sensors are commonly used in applications such as network cameras, PC peripherals, and smartphones. This is a result of CMO sensors using less power than CCDs and being less expensive to manufacture. Unlike CCD sensors, CMOS sensors address each pixel individually. They process the charge from each pixel on the sensor and transmit a digital bit of information. This technique reduces the need for additional processing along the transmission pathway. CMOS sensors use less power than CCDs because a larger area of the chip is devoted to processing circuits. We also have lenses. Some features of also the camera are lenses. The lenses on a CCTV camera is the first element in the imaging chain, which consists of the lens, camera, transmission system, image management, and analysis software and monitor. The lens focus light or infrared energy onto the imaging sensor. A lens's role is to deliver an undistorted, evenly focused, accurate image on the imaging sensor. Systems that require superior quality images start with lenses engineered to produce a high quality image for imaging sensor. Other components of the imaging chain cannot compensate for an inferior lens. So the lens is very important. Variables to consider when selecting a lens include the distance required to clearly focus on objects, field of view, size of the camera's image sensor, and lighting conditions. Lenses are identified by their focal length, usually stated in millimeters, largest aperture, usually stated as an F number, and the size of the image sensor for which it was designed. We also look briefly at types of lenses. This is just additional information. Lenses are available in three basic types: fixed focal length, varifocal length, and then zoom length. Zoom lens. The focal length of a lens is the distance between the optical center of the lens and the image plane. The lens focal length and the image sensor size determine the camera's field of view. Fixed length lenses are built with one set, unchangeable focal length. Such lenses are usually in situations where the camera remains in a fixed position and the requirements to observe an area do not change. The focal lengths of varifocal lenses can be changed within a specific range. However, each change must be accompanied by hand at the camera. In addition, each type of focal length is changed. The iris and the focus may also need adjustment. Varifocal lenses offer the flexibility of verifying the scene content and are relatively inexpensive when compared to conventional zoom lenses. Once the focal lengths and iris are set, the camera will maintain the field of view. Varifocal lenses are identified by the local length range, aperture range, and the size of the image sensor the lens is designed for. Zoom lenses, unlike varifocal lenses, the zoom lens is designed to maintain the focus setting throughout the focal length range. Zoom lens in CCTV industry are often built with integral motors to enable changing the focal length from remote location. They are used on cameras that monitor different parts of a scene or can pan tilt to monitor different locations. Zoom lenses are identified by their focal length range, aperture range, and the size of the imaging sensor the lens is designed for. Optical versus digital zoom ranges. This is another additional information that I ask you to read on your own. Optical versus digital zoom ranges. The focal length ranges for varifocal and the zoom lenses denote optical focal length ranges, which are a function of the components of the lens. Read that one on your own. And then also image magnification is a function of the image sensor size and the lens focal length. Zoom lenses are often chosen so that security personnel can use the longer focal lengths to zoom in and enlarge a specific portion of the image to see a more detail or make identification. A digital electronic zoom refers to the capability of the camera or the CCTV system processing software to select and enlarge portions of the full image. In this case, only the selected pixels are magnified. Unlike optical zoom, digital zoom does not enhance the detail of an image. It reduces it. Digital zoom ranges are often denoted by magnification factors of 2x, 6x, etc. Features of lenses. That is something also that we need to just to touch on. A lens has a certain components and characteristics that further determine its capabilities. These include the focal length, type of aperture, and the focus control, wavelength of light or energy. The lens is optimized to transmit and image sensor size the lens is designed for. Additionally, a camera's resolution and the impact of noise on the image being captured are critical to the overall performance of a CCTV system. A camera's resolution and the impact of noise on the image being captured are critical to the overall performance of a CCTV system. And then connectivity type. CCTV cameras may employ one of the two types of transmission. Network camera. Network cameras connect to Internet protocol based networks, including the internet, and provide remote viewing and recording. Network cameras are also available in high definition, which can provide greater image detail. And then there is analog cameras. Mostly they rely on cablings from a camera to the system. This may be to the cost involved in upgrading and converting to a new transmission process. Analog cameras have options for high resolution, making them applicable for various surveillance needs. These cameras also have some cyber security advantages because the coaxial cable they are connected with would require physical access to breach. So you can see one advantage of an analog system compared to a fully internet protocol system. And then we have powering cable cameras. Cameras generally take their power from one of three sources: direct, via coaxial cable, or via Ethernet or PoE or PoE Extra Plus. The simplest system is a camera connected directly to a monitor by a coaxial cable, with the power for the camera being produced from the monitor. This is known as a line-powered camera. You remember from the beginning, we spoke about line-powered cameras. With IP systems, cameras are increasingly able to draw their power from the Ethernet cable. This is also known as power over Ethernet. Also, selecting cameras. When you are selecting cameras, for example, you are a security manager, you are a security supervisor, and you are sitting in a forum where you need to select cameras, these are some of the considerations you need to take into account. You need to consider appropriate image resolution. What type of resolution do you need? High sensitivity to best utilize available light. Ability to maintain an adequate picture in the presence of bright sources. Ability to retain picture clarity at all points in the scene where motion is present. And then long life. Definitely you need cameras that can give you a long life. And then if digital, output format, bandwidth, and compression compatibility with the total system. Most organizations will mix and match a number of different camera types. For instance, an organization may use infrared fixed cameras around a perimeter with a PTZ overlooking the parking lot. On the inside, they may have a fixed megapixel camera covering the warehouse and a number of fixed IP cameras covering the entrance and hallways. And then summary, we say cameras can be static, focusing on a single view, or can pan, tilt, and zoom, moved by operators or placed on tours to survey a succession of scenes. They can be fixed, permanently installed in one location, redeployable, moved around power points within an area, or mobile, placed in vehicles and transported to where they are needed. The availability of specialized uses such as number plate and facial recognition has generated yet more potential applications for this flexible technology. There are several types of CCTV cameras with unique features for different purposes. I would say that in conclusion, You as a CCTV surveillance officer, take your time. Look at the cameras at your work area. Look at the cameras at your business area. Make clear conclusions. This is a PTZ fixed, or this is a fixed camera, or this is a PTZ camera. If it is a fixed camera, this is a bullet or a cube or a dome camera. If it is a PTZ camera, find out, is it placed on a operator manually operated, or is it automatically moving to capture scenes? It is very important for you as a CCTV surveillance officer to be able to identify these things and to speak the CCTV language. Speak in terms of field of view, speak in terms of resolutions, speak in terms of clarity, speak in terms of focal length, speak in terms of bullet cameras, speak in terms of dome cameras, speak in terms of PTZ cameras. You have to be able to speak this language with ease to be an effective CCTV surveillance officer. With those few remarks, sorry, I had to move very fast because we had many slides, I realized. So I had to ensure that we take 1 hour. I like mostly going into a little bit more details so that we can grow you to the direction that we think will be of benefit to you, rather than just touching on the basis and then we leave it there. It is best sometimes to go deeper into these issues to make it more understanding for you. However, you have also to do more research and to read more about these technologies and to understand where CCTV surveillance is moving and what is involved in these surveillance systems. With those few remarks, I say thank you. I will again come back to you with another topic very soon. Thank you very much. My name is Wayne, and bye-bye.